Nothing contained in this podcast should be considered a substitute for professional medical advice. This content does not represent our respective employers and is purely the opinion of the podcast hosts. We are not your personal medical providers. Sorry, friends. So, if you have concerns or are seeking a diagnosis or treatment, please seek individual advice from a healthcare provider in your area. We are not liable for any risks associated with acting upon the information contained in this podcast. This is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only, so enjoy the ride.
Please drink responsibly and in moderation. Before drinking, please be sure to be of the legal drinking age for your country. We do not encourage the misuse of alcohol.
Welcome to Medical Media Mixer, the perfect cocktail. I'm Nicole Peniston, psychologist.
And I'm Tara Briscoe, physician assistant. What's up?
Chicken nuggets, that's what's up. I'm eating my FIFA World Cup chicken nuggies.
Yeah, we were just talking about how FIFA World Cup's going to mess up our travel into New York this weekend. So
I mean, I am all about the joy and the unity that FIFA is bringing,
Yes.
and I love seeing the TikToks, and I'm a really bad person and haven't watched any games, and I know my dad is looking down at me from heaven yelling at me because he's a huge soccer fan, and then he's like, why aren't you watching? And I don't know how he would feel about the U.S. continuing to advance because I don't think he would be mad about it, but I think he just had other team loyalties.
Right.
So
what was the team he liked? Do you remember?
Well, he did watch a lot of the popular Brit teams, which I feel like he has a biological alliance to, being from Bermuda, which is British owned.
Right.
But he definitely liked Real Madrid and things like that. So I think it was really just it was a variety. But there is a picture of me that my mom has. Maybe I can find it and take a picture. You can post on the socials. I am less than a year old in a soccer jersey at Pele's last game.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that was in New Jersey.
Girl. Huh.
I mean, I didn't know it. I was less than a year old.
A baby, but still.
Yeah, my big old bald head because I didn't have hair till I was 2.
Well, you have plenty of it now. We're good.
I do. But yeah, I was bald. Bald. Yeah.
I was the opposite. I was born with a full head of hair.
No. I was completely bald, and then my mom had a cesarean, and they cut my head open. So
I
was
remember
bald
that story. I forgot about
stitches
that.
for a long time. But in this picture, you can't see a scar. It's just shiny bald head, little pale white baby shiny bald head.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So I have an idea for a new segment for you.
What is this?
The new segment is what made you smile this week.
Okay.
So what made you smile this week?
Actually, my last patient of the day, he's an actor. He's a lot of plays and he travels all over the place. Yes. No, he's like a stage actor, for real. And he was telling me how excited he's going to be on his tour, and they're going to be doing the 10-year reunion of Waitress, the musical.
Cool.
And they're going to be at some point next year in 2027 on this year-and-a-half tour in local to us. So I'm like, maybe I'll buy tickets and go see you on stage.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So it was just really cute. It's one of my favorite patients. Don't tell the others. I always say it's because we both have we're both Libras. Our birthdays are 2 days apart. And I was like, that's why I like you.
There you go.
But it was just one of those bright little fun, conversation end of the day. So it was cute.
That's fun.
How about you?
I actually had a lot of things that made me smile this week, but the most recent was last night. I was driving home from work and I stopped at a stoplight, and there was a car in front of me, and a dog shoved his head out the window once the car started going and stuck his nose up in the air to enjoy the wind. And it was just this look of bliss on his little puppy face. And then he ran to the other side of the car and did the same thing. And I was like, look at how happy he is.
Joy.
How can you not smile at that?
Yeah, the joy in his face. That is so cute.
So that made me smile this week. Happy puppy. Yeah.
Well, I like it. All right. So you try and remember to bring that up every time. Okay.
I'll do my best. You're lucky I remembered it for today.
So I have a show that I think you've watched and mentioned and referenced that I'd never watched. I finally am watching Dairy Girls.
Oh, so now, yes, that's a good show.
It's out of the 3 seasons. I'm
such a good show.
Halfway through the second. It's a lot of fun. And I'm learning a little history. I had to Google some things because sometimes the words they say, I'm like, what is a punt? A punt purse. Apparently that's because you have your Irish pounds are your punts. So if you go into Ireland, but if you're in Northern Ireland, you're still using pounds sterling or whatever it is that the British were using.
So you need a separate purse for the separate money.
Yeah. But it was just funny because I had to look up a lot of because sometimes the phrases.
Yeah. The phrase is definitely the vernacular, but I feel
it's fun. I really like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's such a delightful show. It's just such good acting. Just so much humor and ridiculousness. I'm sure. Yeah. Much like I did, we get a lot of the Catholic school references. Even though it's Catholic school.
I love the nun, the principal.
Yes. Yeah. But what I loved about it, and I don't know if it was just the timing of all of it, I feel like we didn't really, in our education, get taught much about the Troubles because they were still happening.
It was still happening. So yeah, this takes place in the mid to late 90s. It's literally, they're like our age. Like they're in high school at the same time we were. And so yeah, that's true. It was still going on at the time. So I like vaguely knew about stuff.
I just remember that we were taught IRA was bad, and that even though it's the name of a drink, you shouldn't say Irish car bomb because it's a real thing and it's mean.
Right.
And those are the only things that I knew. But
yeah.
I feel like I did learn a lot about it. I really like, well, I'm not going to tell you because it's the end of the series, so I won't say it.
Yeah,
But
don't say that.
they end it really, really well.
Great.
Yeah, it's like a really, like both touching, like politically, like the way they talk about, but just like for the characters, it's a really good ending. Yeah.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. I've zoomed through it in like just a few days.
Yeah.
Because
they're short episodes too.
Yeah, the short episodes, there's only 6 per season. So I've watched 9 episodes in like 2 days.
Well, I don't know if you knew this fun fact about it, but I probably said it before. Brad Pitt was such a fan of the show that he actually had personally contacted most of the cast and asked them if they would be willing to do more of the show. Yeah.
Jeez, that's a compliment right there.
And I don't know exactly why they chose not to. Maybe just because it was like that kind of snapshot in time, and it's like you can't really...
You can't redo
You
like
can't
that.
replicate that. Like, you can follow the characters, but even that would be different. So, but yeah, such a good show, Dairy Girls.
And then that...
with Nicola Kogan.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one who's in
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton, yes. So yeah, she has to... Does she naturally have an Irish accent? Does she naturally have a British accent? That's the question.
I actually think she's Australian.
I
read. She said it in an interview. She's learned different accents. I might be wrong about the Australian, but I feel like
Irish. No, she's Irish. I just looked it up.
But so I remember her saying something about her natural accent was different than in the show. That she had to learn a different accent.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I love her. She's number one. She's gorgeous. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
And she's a good actress.
She has a soft, relatively neutral Irish accent. So she probably had to make it a little more brash because she's from Galway versus they're from Northern Ireland and it's got a stronger accent.
I also watched, it was a documentary about that same time frame. I'm blanking on the name of it, but it was about a band, an Irish band that would travel back and forth because they had fans on both sides, and they were actually killed in a bombing. And how that impacted like their fans on both sides and kind of united them.
Yeah.
About it. Of course, I'll remember once we stop recording, but it's on Netflix.
Okay.
The documentary. So if you look up Irish band bombing, you'll find it.
Okay. Yay. Fun stuff to Google.
Yes. Lots of fun stuff to Google. Also, because we're talking about shows that we've been enjoying, I started a new show and finished a new show because I binged it. $1 Million Nannies.
No, I don't know this one.
It's a reality show.
It sounds like it.
It was a lot. And it was a lot because of the shenanigans the nannies got into. And I'm like, if this is actually like real, like true reality, y'all wouldn't get hired for all this stuff that's on TV.
Right. Yeah.
So it was a good show. It was a mindless but entertaining watch.
Okay.
So
I have 2 ideas for last calls.
Yeah.
One is serious, one
Apparently,
is fine.
I just got Swedish. Yeah, I want to do the last call.
One of them is serious because I did watch that Motherly Instinct, and oh my God, I have so much to talk about.
Girl.
Yeah. The other thing is, have you seen this trend on, the TikTok and Instagram and on the talk and on the Instagram where they have you like say this phrase and then you have to say it serious, say it flirty.
Say it supportive, say it.
Yes. But they're like, one of them I took a picture of, and the other one, I just remember the phrase. What was the one I took a picture of? That is us. That is not the picture I'm looking for.
That was us.
It was like our video. Oh, you've been digging in your ass is one of them. And the other one is you shaved your bush. So, like, going back over the
you shaved your bush.
Save it for last call. People, if you want to join our Patreon and see this ridiculousness, go for it.
Well, I will also say you're asking the wrong person because both as someone who has done some acting and as a psychologist, I need to rephrase things a lot.
Okay.
So I have a lot of practice in this.
Okay.
But
I just feel like I'm going to die laughing so hard that I'm not going to be able to get the words out. But
I've called myself, but I've also had other people who like work in my field say that I'm extremely good at positive reframing.
Okay.
So you can tell me anything terrible and you can
make it sound good.
I can make it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can like explosive diarrhea. Well, now you're cleaning out your GI system.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, it's real good. Yes.
My goodness. All right. So what kind of fanciful tales do you have for us today, my friend?
Well, this was something you suggested that I had watched. And honestly, when I watched it, I didn't even consider it for the pod just because I was so WTF.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you made the suggestion, I took you up on it.
Okay.
So let me start off with my drink, which only gives a slight teaser into it.
Okay.
But the name of my drink is the Hypnosis.
Okay.
And it does not too much to look at. You can't really tell because of my
all
lighting.
In the bottom of it?
Oh, it's a dehydrated pineapple. It's sunk.
Okay.
It was floating on top, but it's sunk.
Okay.
But
it's sunk.
You can't tell from my lighting because my lighting's a little off today. I don't know why. I don't know. Anyway, it's a very light sea blue color.
Okay.
And that is because it contains 2 ounces of hypnotic liquor.
I was going to say, do you use that in there? Do you remember that stuff?
Yes,
oh
it's rancid. I hate it. 2 ounces of hypnotic, 2 ounces of Grey Goose, and it says 1 ounce of squirt citrus soda. I use 3 ounces because, like I said, hypnotic is gross. So it's not that bad once I mix it all together and, like I said, put extra squirt in there. That's the most unfortunate name for a soda.
Yeah, it really is.
But it's a grapefruit flavored soda. We'll just put it that way.
I'm actually, guess what I'm drinking?
Squirt. Fresca.
No,
I love Fresca.
Which is a grapefruit also.
Do you know there's a new flavor of Fresca?
No, I did not.
It's called Fresca Citrus Twist, I think, citrus something, and it's peach and raspberry flavored.
Ooh.
And I really wanted to buy it, but it was not on sale, and a 6-pack was $9, and I was if I don't like it, no.
Yeah, I got this with my lunch today at work.
I love a Fresca.
They happen to have it at the deli we're ordering from, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like a Fresca is very retro for us. It was something that moms who were on diets drank when we were younger.
But it actually tastes good.
It does.
It tastes better than other diet things for sure.
Yeah, so you could probably use Fresca in this.
There you go.
But like I said, I added more of the soda on top, which actually it's pretty good with the extra soda. Without it, it was just a lot.
What flavor is hypnotic? I don't even know. I just remember the blue bottle.
It's blue. It's blue flavored, but not in a good way.
I thought I was the one who didn't like blue flavored things. Okay.
It just, to me, and I might be offending a whole lot of people out there who love their hypnotic, it's very chemical tasting.
Okay.
It's very chemically, and it's weird because it actually has kind of a nice scent. But then once
the taste is not the same.
They say once it's in your mouth, but I was like, well, there's other things that could smell good, but then not. That's it.
Okay.
So you basically put the vodka and the hypnotic in a shaker with ice, shake vigorously, pour into cocktail glass, top with the squirt. And then garnish with a cherry or a pineapple chunk. I didn't have a chunk, so I used dehydrated pineapple, and he sunk to the bottom. But that's my drink. Pretty easy. If you add more soda like I did, it's pretty palatable. If you don't, good luck to you. And so what I am talking about today is a little film called, which this is weird because when I watched it, the title of it was Look Into My Eyes. Mm-hmm. Was that what it was called when you watched it?
I don't remember what it was called.
But
I remember talking about this and I remember suggesting it, but I don't know.
But when I looked it up, it was called True Crime Story, Look Into My Eyes.
Huh.
So, and it says it was from Sundance. Now, I watched it on Hulu or whatever.
Right.
So maybe it originally was on there and then they've,
reframed it somehow.
I mean, it's the same exact film and everything.
Yeah.
I looked at the cast, the episodes. It's literally frame by frame the same thing. It's just a little confusing. So, but basically, it is the story of Dr. George Kenney, who was the former principal of Northport High School in Florida, who took it upon himself to just start hypnotizing some of his students.
Right.
But what happened was 3 of those students died.
Yeah, not so.
And so the series looks into essentially trying to connect those deaths to the hypnosis. I don't know if they necessarily do a very good job of that, but definitely it's kind of a coincidence that if you hypnotize, say, 40 people and 3 of them die, those are pretty high odds.
That is pretty high, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into it. I need to find my notes. So in spring 2011, in that same time frame, that same group of months in the spring, that was when all 3 of the students died. So they all died at the same time. So I think maybe that too was why they were trying to make that direct connection because it all happened around the same time.
Very quickly together.
So and I was wrong, he hypnotized more than 70 people. I thought it was less than that. And the majority of them were students, but not all students. And he was actually never a licensed hypnotherapist. So you said you watched this documentary, right?
No,
Docu-series.
What I did was I saw the title of it and I was like, Nicole, this looks really good.
So you never watched it?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh my goodness. Well, then you need to watch it.
Well, now I'm going to have to watch it. Well, tonight. It's either that or Dairy Girls. We'll see.
A little bit of both. It's not very long. So the docu-series is called True Crime Story, Look Into My Eyes. So that is the official name of it. It came out in 2023. But he was also featured on a little show we've talked about, The Curious Case of. So that was that spin-off series that came after The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. There is an episode about that, which I also watched. I wouldn't say it gives you any more or less information than the docuseries. So if you only want to watch one episode, you can watch that. And it's going to give you
the summary.
And it's a lot of the similar interviews too. So I'm guessing they crossed over. So the 3 students who passed were Marcus Freeman, Wesley McKinley, and Brittany Palumbo. And they all had passed in separate incidents, but within weeks of each other. So to go back a little bit, Dr. Kenney, who was the principal of this school, he began working there I don't have the date when he started as the principal, but early on in his career at the school, he went to a conference where there was like a hypnotist who performed, and he thought that was awesome. And so he invited that same hypnotist to come to their school for like senior night or something. And it was like the typical kind of kitschy hypnotism where like they make you do silly things like squawk like a chicken,
right?
Or, pretend you're a stripper, those silly little things. But that inspired him to take a 5-day course with the National Guild of Hypnosis at the Omni Hypnosis Center in late 2009. Now, this is just like one of those little courses that anybody could take.
Right.
It's not making you certified or licensed or anything like that. It was just a funsies course. And then he decided to take it upon himself to then use that knowledge, as he calls it, to then begin assisting in hypnosis portions. So, like I said, they had done these things at like a senior night. And then, so they had a thing called project graduation lock-in parties. So essentially like an overnight thing. Yeah. And so he would invite the actual hypnotist. And then after a while, he just started doing it himself as part of it.
Okay.
And he was demonstrating on not just at the lock-in parties, but also in classes, and was performing hypnosis on the school's junior ROTC.
Okay.
You don't sound concerned at all about that.
No, I mean, I'm just taking it in.
I mean, I'm just thinking ROTC, these are kids who are eventually want to go into the military and handle guns.
Right.
And you're hypnotizing them and have no
idea what you're actually doing.
And who knows what you're actually telling them or doing. So the thing about this that I found weird from the jump was there were hours and hours and hours and hours of security camera footage from inside the school and inside of his office of him hypnotizing people.
Okay.
So and teachers knew that like he would pull students out to hypnotize. So I'm like, this is a very
bizarre, appropriate, almost intimate thing, especially if you're doing small groups or just like one-on-one.
Exactly. And so he was doing individual hypnosis sessions for various issues, including test anxiety, trouble with focus and attention, athletic performance. And he himself videotaped and documented all the sessions and had parents sign permission slips.
Oh, wow. He had parents sign permission slips. So there you go. And, liability's off now.
Not only that, for me, and it's one because I recently watched or rewatched, because it's not new, the documentary Michael Jackson, The Verdict. But then, thinking about other situations, I'm not saying that these people who have been convicted did things or who have not been convicted did questionable things. But in every single one of these cases, like R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, this guy, parents signed off on this shit.
Right. And let it in. Right.
For Michael Jackson and R. Kelly, parents dropped their kids off at these people's
houses. Right. That's true.
So, yes, they still did or may have done something wrong, but I feel like, and I don't have kids, so this is my non-parental opinion. But if you, as a parent, bring your 5-year-old to go sleep in a bed with a grown-ass man, and then you get mad when the grown-ass man touches a little boy, you let him sleep in the bed.
Right, exactly.
You are at fault just as much as the person who did that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
Okay.
But with this, the parents signed permission slips. So then, and I'm not saying they signed for their kids to die. Absolutely not.
No.
But then when all of these kids started coming up and saying, yeah, I was hypnotized. Yeah, this was weird. You can't be like, I don't know what happened.
Right. Now, he's a doctor in education, I believe, right? He's not like a medical...
Doctor of education, not a medical
Right.
professional by any means. Yeah.
Okay.
Which I'm wondering too if maybe that was part of it, why these people were signing off when they're like, he's a doctor. Like,
Not
but I
that
also feel
guy.
like it's not unheard of these days to know that someone has a title of doctor and is not a medical professional.
Right. You get a doctor
Like,
in
it's not like
philosophy,
it's like
chemistry, whatever.
1975 and we didn't know. Yeah. Like, your principal's not a doctor. You know that. Even if he calls himself doctor,
Right.
which I also have issues with that. But anyway, so parents were signing off on this. He was doing these things. And the first student that he hypnotized in a private session, Eric Williams, said that the hypnosis actually did work. It improved his test scores really well. And that a lot of other people seemed to benefit from these sessions. So I think that was why more and more kids and more parents were signing off on it, because they were seeing positive things from this.
Okay.
He hypnotized at least 75 people, like I said, mostly students, but also other athletic teams in the city, school staff, and parents.
Okay. Everybody's in on it. Everyone's like, let's go to him. Let's go to the principal. He's got it.
Okay, so then I need to take a step back. What are your thoughts on hypnosis? Because I know the true clinical utility of it.
So,
but I'm not signing up for a principal to hypnotize me.
No, but do you remember at the state fair, you were with me one time when I went up on stage?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my experience with a hypnosis, being upstage, one of those hokey things. And also at a day camp that I worked at, they had the counselors go up and I was one of them. That is my experiences in that hokey way. I know that there are some clinical ways to help people, which I obviously will go into, but to help them. I know some of my patients to stop smoking have tried it.
Yeah. And I've heard people have success with that.
With smoking, yeah.
Not so much with eating, because I have heard people have gone to those sessions to like reduce their eating or improve their diets. And I haven't heard as much anecdotal success with that as I have with cigarette smoking. But I've actually met quite a few people who said they've done, that couple-hour hypnosis session for smoking and never picked up a cigarette again.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering if it's because, and I'll get into this later, part of it, from my understanding specific to smoking, is basically you're developing aversion through the hypnosis. So that way you don't have the urge to smoke anymore, where you can't necessarily do that across the board with food. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, because you have to, well, that's one thing. You always say you have to eat to live, right?
Exactly. So it's like you can't necessarily avoid everything and then be fine. Although I keep telling you have to do that movie about the people who think that they can live just on air. It's an actual thing. There's a dramatic movie, but then there's also a documentary about it. Yeah. There's a name for it too. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, so one particular student, they believe, had one of the more maximum number of sessions, had up to 40 sessions of hypnosis.
Wow. Jeez, that's intense.
Yeah, that's
more than like therapy. Like it's depending on what time period.
Well, I was just thinking for a school year, that's minimum once a week.
Right. Probably more though, because school year is only, not the whole year.
Well, and that's the thing. We don't know if people were coming to him outside of school or what, but we do know that he did do some of the hypnosis on school property.
Wow.
So in legal documents, he claims that he did not know that hypnosis could be harmful in some cases, which I feel like if you went to even that little training, that's probably like the second or third thing they tell you.
Yeah, some sort of disclaimer on that,
Yeah. And so one of the examples they use is that if someone's depressed, I can see how that could be harmful depending on what you're hypnotizing them about or what to do. But I don't know if that's necessarily the best example. Right. I would think like a better example would be like if someone has psychosis. Or someone like already has difficulty like with reality versus like their own thoughts. But this is what the people.com article says. So, okay, people. And then he says he did not inquire about any medical or mental health history before the sessions, which again, if you're doing anything like this, these are things that someone who is licensed and reputable would be assessing for before you do anything. And so some students said that they did feel adverse effects from it. So not everybody was happy about it. There was an ROTC field trip in 2009 where he hypnotized, and I am enunciating it that way because in the documentary, lots of people call it hypnosis.
Oh, no.
I got hypnotized. No, there's no hip. And I'm going to tell you, it's not hypnotize anytime. It's not when Biggie sang about it. It's never, there's no M in it. No, there's no M. And no one's getting hypnotized. It's hypnotized.
Okay, Nicole, sorry. I got it.
I have issues with pronunciations.
I do too. I do too.
So anyway, one person said that he was hypnotized to smear lipstick all over his face.
Okay, fun.
Like, is that adverse? No, it's embarrassing and like, dumb, but like, I wouldn't count that as an adverse effect. He's like, well, I was hypnotized to be told that it was sunscreen. I'm like, yeah, but did you die?
Right.
3 other people did. So, like, let's reel it in, you know? But I guess they were saying, like, hey, it didn't always work out, like, as a positive for me. So I get that. And then there were other students who said that they didn't tell anyone about their hypnosis sessions for years because they were really intimidated about it. They didn't talk to their parents about it, which I'm like, so did they sign a permission slip?
Right.
What's that all about?
This
But
really
also,
feels creepy.
it's super creepy. Creepy for so many reasons. But the other thing I was thinking about too is just because you're in high school doesn't mean you're a minor. Like there are
You could
kids
be
who just happen to
18.
turn 18 as a senior that you don't need parents'
Right.
permission slip.
True.
So I was thinking like maybe that was the case with this particular person. But he also said, I didn't feel safe or comfortable around him and I didn't like the session. And in the documentary, several people were saying like that they just felt kind of like weirded out about it. There's this one part where, because there's video of it, I think that's why they make a bigger deal of it than it actually was. But they were saying, they were alleging maybe some sexually inappropriate stuff. When you see the video, he hypnotized someone and then they kind of fell face first into his lap. Like he wasn't like pushing their head down. But
Right,
like,
right.
was it cool? No,
No.
it's not cool. And then from my understanding of the true clinical nature of hypnosis, nobody should be falling face forward into anything.
Right,
That's
right,
not what's
right,
going on. So I
right.
also wonder if there was a little bit of I'm not victim blaming, but just saying like they thought like this is how I'm supposed to act. So I'm supposed to
So
like
I'm
fall
gonna
forward and like,
fulfill
yeah,
whatever it is.
right.
But also, like, the fact that they didn't feel comfortable, like, were they just being called down to the principal's office? Okay, we're doing your session now. You know,
Yes.
like if you
Yes.
didn't,
Yeah. Essentially.
wow,
Yeah. Like, yeah, your turn. Come on. So
yeah,
yeah, that was that. Another student said that they got lost in a hotel after he hypnotized them to see numbers in a foreign language. Now,
wait,
unless it's like Japanese,
right,
numbers are the same in other languages.
right, correct.
Unless like the literal numeral writing is different, they're the same. So I don't know
Right.
about that either. And then he woke up wearing pantyhose and lipstick.
Okay, don't know how that happened.
Exactly. And that's my thing. Like, is he hypnotizing you to do that, to put on pantyhose and
Right.
lipstick and then wake up? Or is he hypnotizing you to focus more in math class and then that happened? Because those are two different things.
Or is he like disorienting you in some way?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is different. So one thing I'm going to say now, because it comes up in what I'm about to talk about, but it also comes up later, is in a theory, when we're talking about what true actual hypnosis is, it's the same thing as meditation, where you're putting yourself into a calmer state. Maybe you're a little bit less focused, but you're focusing on a mantra or something that's in your mind. And so that's why a lot of times people will be told, or you'll hear on like podcasts or things like that, not to listen to meditation tapes while you're driving.
Do you remember that one teacher, the freshman religion teacher, but later on had a meditation club? Did you go to that? I did.
I never went to meditation
times.
club.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
The one who did the personality tests and all that?
Yeah.
When we were sophomores or juniors, she did a meditation club, a few sessions, and I went.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. Like meditation is not bad. It's just you need to do it in a safe and correct place and time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bring that up because the first person who passed, he essentially went into a trance while he was driving. That caused the car accident, which then in turn killed him. And so basically this person was driving a car. His girlfriend was in the car with him and she saw like just a weird look on his face and then he wasn't responding and she's like, what's going on? Like, wake up. He didn't come out of it. She tried to like take control of the wheel and he veered off the road and crashed and he died. She was seriously injured, but survived. And she is in the documentary and talks really painfully about like those last moments. And like, this was her boyfriend. Like, they were just driving home from the dentist, which, and that's where I'm a little confused too, because
was he put under?
So that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think it was her dentist appointment and he was driving her home.
Okay.
Because like I said, I watched it a while ago, so I don't remember who it was, but the way that this is phrased makes it seem like it was him. And I'm like, I don't think you can drive after being sedated.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
Well, you're not supposed to, at least.
Exactly. So he did pass. The second person was hypnotized and then shortly thereafter died via suicide.
Okay.
But the mom said that for some time after leaving a session, he wouldn't answer his name. He thought he had 11 fingers, which I'm also like, that feels like you just came out of like dental surgery or something.
Yeah.
You know, David after dentist. Like, is this real life? That's something I probably reference like once a week. Is this real life? Because do we know? I don't know if any of us know if it's real life anymore.
No, it's a simulation. We're totally in the Matrix.
I wish we were in a simulation, because then I know that there would be an ending, and then once the game is over, it starts again. And maybe it's better next time. Yeah. But his mom said that like his behavior was very out of character for himself. He seemed almost like a zombie. He wasn't really responding. And that this doesn't make sense. He was hypnotized to skip the number 7 when counting.
Why?
Exactly. So like a lot of these things that they're saying like they were hypnotized to do don't make any damn sense. But also the dude who's hypnotizing them doesn't seem to be making much sense himself. So like maybe he did tell these kids to do this.
To do random things.
I don't know.
This kid almost sounds like though maybe you could have like that's the right age for a lot of mental health things to present. And then maybe that was like an early schizophrenia or an early, like, you know what I mean? Something.
It is. So this is what happened, because I think talking about the situation the day that this person completed suicide, they definitely were not themselves. And so I think that's why they're making that direct connection. It's not like he was really depressed and then all of a sudden, you know, he did this. Like the mom said that he came home from school, walked right past him without saying hello, which wasn't like him, put his stuff down, walked straight out the back door, asked what time his friends were coming over, and then just kept walking. And then a couple hours later, there were sirens and so like it was like there wasn't even any indication that he was in like distress. It was more like lack of response.
Right.
So, and they didn't go into detail, and that's fine. We don't need to know the details, but like it wasn't like this was someone who was like really depressed and down, and then the hypnosis was supposed to make them better and then made them worse. It seems like everything was okay until this was a downward spiral. Yeah, after that. And then the final victim, she also completed suicide, and she had been specifically in hypnosis to address test anxiety, and she did complete her suicide after not performing well in the SATs. So with that sounds a little bit more mental health related, that it was like, I'm really upset. I want to do this treatment to perform better. And then she didn't perform better.
Right.
Not that I'm saying the hypnosis didn't play a part in it, but at least that is a little bit more of a straight line to those things. Now, an interesting thing was that Dr. Kenney denied ever hypnotizing her. But there was video proof of it. And then later on, he says he accidentally lied because he was under a lot of stress and he forgot that she was one of them.
Accidentally lied.
That being said, if you're hypnotizing like 70 people, you can't possibly remember all of them.
What you should say is, I don't remember.
Exactly.
Maybe. I gotta check my records.
Yes, that is very true. Which that came up in a documentary I was watching about basically, I'm not going to go into it because it's not related to this, but basically like somebody was on the stand and was like, no, I definitely didn't do that. But then like when they were questioned a different way, they're like, well, I don't remember. And it's like, just say you don't remember.
Right. Just say you don't remember.
It's okay. But, you know, that's a different story. So after these 3 deaths happened kind of in a row, that was when people started investigating and kind of looking into stuff. And there actually didn't end up being like a full ass trial because he pleaded guilty and took a plea deal. And so
what was like the charge?
I want to say, he ultimately pleaded no contest. Do you know what no contest is?
Not guilty or I'm not guilty?
No contest means I didn't do it, but you have proof that maybe I did. It's similar to actually, no, I'm confusing them. That's an Alford plea.
Yeah, that's an Alford plea.
Yeah. An Alford plea means I didn't do it, but you have proof that says otherwise. So I'm just going to admit to it. No contest means what you were saying, that I'm not going to say I did it, but I'm not going to say I didn't do it. I'm just not going to respond, essentially. He's not going to contest the charges. That's why it's no contest. So he pleaded no contest to practicing therapeutic hypnosis without a license, which was a misdemeanor. And so he resigned from being principal in 2012, and he did so to avoid charges of practicing therapy without a license, which would have resulted. What I was gonna say,
to me, it feels like therapy without a license altogether. Like that is.
So the plea was to avoid those charges because that would have resulted in prison time.
Right.
So, and then that would have been a felony. And then as an educator with a felony, not only can you not work again, you can't get retirement benefits.
Oh, yeah. Well,
so this was this whole thing that he and his attorney worked out so he could kind of step aside and still, you know, maintain his benefits and things like that. Which,
lovely.
I mean, I could see it either way. Like this was clearly towards the end of his career. Your retirement benefits and things are established over multiple years of work. But should you kind of just get off? No. But I mean, I see it both ways. I don't love either way. I'll put it that way. So he was sentenced to 2 consecutive sentences of 6 months probation.
Oh,
so
really?
a year probation and 50
Wow.
hours of community service.
Come on.
Meanwhile, 3 families lost their children.
Yeah, really. I mean, see, to me, it's clear cut. Practicing therapy without a license.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the way he brought them into his office, the way it was framed as we're going to help you through something, not we're
Yeah.
goofing off,
Yeah.
and, as we know, there's supposed to be record keeping and things if you're doing something therapeutic to document what you've done or, just the whole thing is. Ugh.
Yeah. The families in 2012 ended up suing the school board because apparently the school board knew about this. So they sued them for wrongful death, and they did end up settling with each family receiving a maximum sum of $200,000.
Consolation.
And I was going to say, I always go back and forth because anytime someone is getting money for a death, it's never going to be enough.
No, of course not.
But also, if you're coming to the point where you're doing essentially a civil suit, like you've put a number on it.
Right.
You've come to an agreement that this is going to be enough for me to let this go and move on with my life or step away from this fight. So it is what it is. I don't see how $200,000 is going to bring your child back. But
it's not. But I would say then the person probably has to take significant time off of their job and things like that, recovering from a tragic loss like that,
damages.
things like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So to bring it full circle, what is hypnosis and how might it work? Well, let's go to PubMed, the National Library of Medicine, to find out more, shall we? Follow me.
We shall.
Let's go. So hypnosis is seen as a waking state of awareness or consciousness in which a person's attention is detached from their immediate environment and absorbed by inner experiences such as feelings, cognition, or imagery. So this is that classic hypnosis where lay down, count to 10, think about what happened on that day and process it. A lot of times we'll see it if someone's trying to remember, something that happened in their childhood or something that happened that they have no waking memory for. So that's kind of the typical hypnosis situation. The hypnosis that we're talking about in this story is more of kind of that fun and games party trick hypnosis where we're going to, mess with your consciousness and make you do silly things. And then you're going to wake up and be embarrassed and that's it.
Right.
They are not one and the same.
Right.
Is the technique the same? In theory, but true hypnosis, especially for therapeutic purposes, is really helping someone process something that they've not been able to process on their own otherwise.
Is there good evidence that any memories somebody surfaces are true memories or not? How do we know? I know.
Girl, that's like 3 more episodes about recovered memories. And
right. Well,
I can't go down that slippery rabbit hole now, but what we do know about hypnosis is that things can either intentionally or unintentionally be planted.
Right.
And then the way that things are planted, so someone says I'm going to go and be hypnosis because I think I was abused as a child. And then when you're under hypnosis with a therapist and the therapist is like, well, do you remember anything happening with your dad? And then you wake up, you're like, my dad touched me.
Right.
That's kind of a plant where it's nobody told you explicitly that, but you kind of took 2 and 2 and put it together. And then maybe it wasn't an authentic experience for you. There's actually a really good book that was made into a documentary about recovered memories. It's kind of old though, so I'd have to revisit it and see if it's still timely. But I could cover that in a future episode. But basically the whole recovered memories in therapy has really kind of been debunked because there are a lot of those false recovered memories.
Right.
It's kind of in the same vein as rebirth therapy. I'm sure you've heard about that, which literal people have died from. So yeah, it's something that is not used for that format anymore. So it's a focusing of attention or imagination to a point that what is being imagined feels real. And so this is, like I said, where it kind of is on the borderline of meditation, where say you get really anxious talking on stage, but then you have to talk on stage for work. So you might do a meditation where you're imagining yourself talking on stage and you're not nervous.
Right.
So same idea, but you're kind of more in control.
Okay.
Not that you're not in control in hypnosis, because that's something that is really a misconception is you can't be hypnotized to do something that you would never, ever in your entire life do. Right. It has to be something that you're at least open to doing or a possibility or something that's not completely aversive or out of your personality to do. You might do something embarrassing and then not love it later, but it's not like you're going to go kill someone because you were hypnotized to do so if you weren't already going to kill that person. So a trance, that's kind of that state that people think of being under hypnosis, but we have trances all the time. I would guarantee you had a trance this week.
Just staring off into space and my brain's in one place and my eyes are in another.
Nope. I know what you do every night before bed. That sounded creepy. The minute the words left my mouth, I was like, girl, I know that you like to read before bed. So
Yes.
when you're reading, I'm sure you're imagining yourself in the world of the book and you get
Right.
really into it and then you don't realize how much time passed. That's
Right.
trance. That's a
Right.
trance state,
Right.
essentially.
Okay.
You're not you're lost in the book, but you're not
Mhm.
lost in life. Like, you're still alive. You still know how to breathe and when you're
Okay.
tired or hungry. So, or like the same thing you were kind of alluding to is like when we're driving somewhere and we've driven the same route 50 million times and then we blink and we're like, oh, we're here. And you don't really necessarily remember driving it.
Yeah.
There's a level of consciousness.
Right.
It's just not full, intense consciousness.
Right. I can see that.
Or like doing a monotonous activity like folding laundry. You've
Mhm.
probably gone into a trance while folding laundry before because you're just
Yeah.
like, okay, same thing over and over again. So
Yeah.
these things can happen on a daily basis, but they're still under our control. Hypnosis can be seen, like I was saying, as a meditative state where you're either where it's more conscious and deliberate. And it's typically used for a therapeutic purpose. So that's when you would have like a guided imagery or someone's talking you through that, either by a recording or maybe you've, developed the script yourself. And that typically is to reduce anxiety, induce relaxation or calmness. It can be used to help manage side effects of medication and to ease pain. So those can be some of the positive signs of positive uses for that sort of hypnosis or meditation. Depending on the suggestions given, hypnosis is typically a relaxing experience.
Right.
However, the main usefulness of a hypnotic state is the increased effectiveness of a suggestion and access to mind-body links or unconscious processing. So like I was saying before, trying to clarify, maybe you've got bits of a memory and you want to fill in the blanks, things like that. But again, it's very open to suggestion. So you want to be making sure that you're working with someone who, knows what they're doing. So now this part gets a little tricky because I understand what it's saying and why it's worded this way, but for the layperson, it can be confusing. Hypnosis in itself is not a therapy.
Okay.
So it is a therapeutic technique, but it's not
Right.
like hypnotherapy is not like, it's not like CBT or not like something
Mhm.
like that where it's a technique to use in the purpose of addressing anxiety or in learning to relax more or things like that. But typically when we're talking about hypnotherapy, there's a little bit more to it than just hypnosis. Like usually
Okay.
someone would talk about, okay, what are your goals? What do you want to learn from this? What do you want to do? What are you willing to try? There's more to it than just showing up someone hypnotizes you and you leave.
Right. Right.
So neuroimaging research has demonstrated that there can be subjective changes in response to suggestion, which is happening in hypnosis, and that can be associated with corresponding changes in brain regions
Okay.
about specific psychological functions.
Okay.
So, like I said, when we're trying to reduce pain reactivity, you might see that on imaging if the hypnosis is used appropriately and effectively.
That's a really cool
Yeah.
tool to have. I wish it was more accessible, but
Yeah.
that's pretty neat.
Yeah. So I would say basically what this article is saying is that hypnosis is a thing. It's not the thing that everybody thinks it is, but it can have appropriate uses in safe situations when it's used properly by properly trained people. There's actually a strong case for more research in the field of hypnosis and palliative care.
Okay.
Where it can help, with cancer care,
Yeah.
things like that. Because like I said, helping with pain reduction, helping with relaxation, managing the anxiety related to all that stuff. It's not super easy to get hypnosis covered by like insurance or things like that because there's not really a whole bunch of randomized controlled trials that are showing the efficacy for it, things like that. Just see if there's anything else here. There's lots of research on hypnosis going on throughout the world. There is a thing called I just want to make sure I say it correctly. The British Society of Clinical and Academic Hypnosis is working more of using qualified health professionals
Okay.
working under the National Health Service to use it as a more therapeutic technique with research and all that kind of stuff. One thing
So
go ahead.
as far as like certifying somebody, like what is a reliable, so you have, you should already be a therapist who is licensed, and then like what's like an organization, I guess, that is reliable, not the one that guy went to.
Yeah, not the 6-hour class on the weekends.
No.
That's a good question because I don't know a whole lot about that. Hypnosis.edu says, no, I'm not even clicking on that link. That's how I feel about that. There is the Hypnotherapy Academy of America, which is a training school. It says for 40 years, they've been training licensed hypnotherapy.
Okay.
So I think when you're thinking
The
about
word is
any of this
licensed.
stuff is looking for things that are licensed, that are certified by these larger agencies like American Psychological Association or,
Right.
those larger licensing boards who look at the checks and balances and kind of stay on top of
Right.
stuff. That being said, anyone that I know who is a professional who has or does use hypnosis, it was more of ancillary to their education. It wasn't their only education. So it's not like
Right,
they
of
just got
course.
a hypnosis certificate and that was it.
No, you're a therapist because
Right.
you've got either a social work or psychology or whatever your path to it was.
Yeah. So this organization is the American Society of Clinical Hypnosis, which is a certification program that looks like it does have like the oversight board and things like that. So they look
Okay.
pretty legit, at least their website does. But I feel like I've also heard of them before,
Yeah.
the American Society of Clinical Hypnosis. So, with anything, doing your research on that and making sure they are reputable sites, just putting that out there. What else? Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to add about what hypnosis is. Reducing pain, quitting smoking, reducing anxiety, treating depression, ironically, this website says. And it's John Hopkins medicine. So
Okay.
I don't think Johns Hopkins would steer us wrong. Neither Johnny nor his pal Hopkins would. What is it in Step Brothers? I went to school with Johnny Hopkins and his friend Sloan Kettering. Yeah. I love that movie. Sorry. Played basketball with Johnny Hopkins. And then, like we were just talking about, memory retrieval from hypnosis is not always accurate or reliable, especially if it's a very vague memory. It's not like, oh, yeah, I saw somebody get mugged on the street, and it's not like you go under hypnosis and now you know the person's name and address and phone number. Like it might be like, oh, they were 5'8", not 5'10". It's not as specific. Myths of hypnosis. It does not make you lose control, surrender your will, or result in being dominated. But a hypnotic state is not the same as being gullible or weak.
Okay.
I do know that some people are more easily hypnotized than others, and I thought I had why.
So I felt like because I did those two hokey things that I was fairly easily hypnotized, which I would not think of. And maybe myself back then when I was in my 20s is different than myself now. But I remember being able to do that and also being capable of doing meditation pretty easily, whereas now I'm not sure if I could shut everything off.
Right. I mean, I was going to say in general, like with meditation or things like that, it's the level of defensiveness or belief in it. That definitely has something to do with it. Sorry, I just scrolling this to say, and that organization I said before, they did say that is a reputable site for training in hypnosis. Can hypnosis be used as sole anesthesia for surgery? I'm not going for it. Not at all, my friends. But a brief video shows segments from a surgical procedure to repair an umbilical hernia while using self-hypnosis as a sole anesthetic.
Okay.
The patient was alert and interactive during the entire process.
Fun. Oh,
no.
I mean, I'm sure they used a little local, but still.
No, ma'am. Give me all of the
give me the drugs.
Anesthesias. If you're cutting into me, I do not want to be
I need a nap.
Alert and awake unless absolutely necessary. And even then, I'm not going to be happy about it. Hypnosis and dentistry. American Society of Clinical Hypnosis is referenced many times in this article. Oh, because it comes from them. Sorry, that's why. Clinical Hypnosis Day. Ooh. Guess what day that is?
Is it coming up?
No. I said it way too excited.
I thought maybe it was like, oh, we just happened to get the right time.
No, May 23rd.
Oh, it passed. Okay.
Why May 23rd, may you ask?
May the 23rd be with you. I don't know.
The 23rd be with you.
Do you know
it's what gonna be May?
No, yeah,
I know, May the 4th
be with you.
No, I know.
I don't know.
There's a lot of May puns, but because it is Franz Mesmer's birthday. Mesmer holds a special place in hypnosis history, bringing this powerful healing modality to the public's attention in the late 1700s. So that's where we get the term mesmerized from. You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I figured that would have been something you would have known.
I don't know.
And then it ends with, have fun celebrating Clinical Hypnosis Day.
Yay.
And then they have the video of the surgery with hypnosis.
Oh, my goodness.
If you so want to partake. I don't need to. I don't need to watch Holly self-hypnotizing herself and then being cut open.
Weird.
Holly, may the 4th be with you. You're fine.
And also with you.
Yes. That's our Catholic school upbringing coming up. I feel like you have to say, and also
you have
with
to.
you. Like it's required.
It's just ingrained.
Because when else in life do you say, may the blah, 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 blah? Never. It's only when it's also with you.
Yes.
Peace be with you, my friend.
And also with you. See,
I was going to say, you're leaving me hanging here.
I can't not do it. I was trying not to do it.
She doesn't want peace to be with me.
Remember you guys would turn around and shake random strangers' hands and be like a little kid?
They don't do that post-COVID. At least I don't think so. I don't go to church that often. But I'm pretty sure post-COVID they kind of put the snafu on that and just said, just wave.
Yeah, just wave. Hi. I'll give you an air fist bump. We'll pretend.
elbow
Yeah.
bump. Yeah. I don't need to shake your hands. I don't need
No.
to shake your dirty hands.
Too
You
many
just came out of the
germs.
bathroom. You're fine. Jesus may love your germs, but I do not.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's all I've got for hypnosis. So that was a
I like
wild,
it.
wild story.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a little anticlimactic because we kind of wanted more to be done or more to be
I
explained, and they
know.
just really couldn't. So
I know. But yeah, that guy is creepy. Like, what kind of, I guess he thought he was doing something good, but like it feels very overstepping, like just very.
it feels overstepping. And I just I keep going back to why, as a parent, would you sign up on a permission slip for your weird ass principal to hypnotize your kid when you
No,
know he has no training in it? He never
exactly.
said he had training in it. He said he went to this one day thing. I'm gonna do it now, and everybody's like, cool, cool, cool. No,
Like even like their school psychologist or something, I'd be wary about it. Like I'd like to be more involved.
yeah. Well, and they never mentioned a guidance department per se or school psychologist. So I feel like they probably were nope and right on out of there. And we're
Yeah,
like, I'm not touching that. At least I would hope so.
I don't-
Stranger things have happened.
I'm sure we'll cover some of them at some point.
I mean, we cover them every week. So
Yes, all the wacky stories. We'll just wait
way.
for next episode.
Oh, guess what? My pineapple resurfaced.
It's swimming.
She came to the surface again.
What happened?
I don't know.
Is she bubbling or anything?
Oh. Why would she come to the surface? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
All
No, she's
right.
not really bubbling. She's just floating.
She's just floating. All right.
Okay.
So we'll wrap it up till the next time. So thank you for listening to Medical Media Mixer.
Perfect cocktail.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Medical Media Mixer podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps others find the show. Want to keep the conversation going? Follow us on social media. We're at Medical Media Mixer Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and on Pinterest, the Medical Media Mixer board.
If you'd like to support the show and help us grow, check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Medical Media Mixer Podcast. And on Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Medical Media Mixer Podcast. If you have a topic idea, feedback, or just want to say hi, send us an email at medicalmediamixer@gmail.com. You can also stream all of our episodes and find more info on our website, medicalmediamixer.podbean.com. We're available on all major podcast platforms, so no matter where you listen, we're there. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, keep mixing medicine and media.